So the next screen sort of said, okay, well, let's find, thinking about which sites are relevant to mine, which who are my competitors. Well, if these, if this is the internet over here, then these are the sites that overlap yours in terms of uh, they appear in the same search terms. And we found that we had 3,000 sites appear in the same search terms, and so that was interesting, and we could see what where they were based, and you could sort of see that mainly US, and although all over here. And interestingly, this did actually throw up China going nice and red when we found lots of plagiarism going on. So it was interesting to help us just to sort that out. So then we tried to make this a little, as I say, make it more humane, and we got it down to 24 sites. These are the sites that regularly appear above your site in the 100 terms or 250 terms that we search for. So, and what this brought back was a non-fantasy list of competitors, which didn't include eBay, but interestingly, did include the BBC. So it's almost like of the big hitters, we should maybe be doing something to monitor the BBC, because they're actually making they're appearing in our way, if you like, which is between your customer, between the customer and our search results. Um, so and again, going back to the stuff you know already slide, this was it. This was the original results, just showing thousands. Oh, here we go, 6,000 other pages in the mix when it comes to search results. And there's cable wireless in there, and there's the BBC, and there's also cable jumpers, which was quite funny. A big competitor we discovered. But one of the things we introduced straight away was wouldn't it be great if search results showed sites where the cable company had already got a link, so they were sort of flagged along the way, so that we didn't have to go back to sites that we've worked on before. So just looking at the coffee guy, similar sort of story. 5,000 search results. Well, okay, let's make a filter that looks just for the blogs, and we get it down to 1,000, 2,000, which is technically a smaller number than that one. And then we then do another search for coffee and espresso, and we end up with a list of really, really, really relevant blogs that we can then go and look at. And over here we can see which ones look like they're going to pass on Google Juice in the rel no follow sort of world, and look like they have a comment form quite a lot of the time. Blogs are not quite what they seem, and so they've got a form in there that might be a comment form. So these are useful ones, and we can then rank them by lots of different ways and pick out the ones that we think are going to be useful. So then finally we filter them by saying, okay, only show me the ones that pass on Google Juice, and only show. We've got 82, which is sort of a nice list to sort of say, okay, go and talk to these guys and make friends over here. We then, we can also look for forums, and we found the same thing in all those forums. We found 841 potential forums, but we wanted to get that down in size a bit. So let's do the old filters that we just apply. So this is basically just taking lots of data, filtering. We come up with 11 fantastic forums that Londinian then went away and saw if there's any way it could add value on any of the sites. This is not about spamming, because it would have been very easy to write a script that went and put something meaningless and horrible on all these sites. But we really don't want to do that. So this is one of the early screens from where we actually tried to do a bit of magic, and we tried to boost words that were emotional in forums, and so that we could find forums where people were really either happy or sad about services or something or other. But what we found was that alarm actually is a fire alarm in this case, and so we've still a bit of work to do here, and it went against our original aims, which was to avoid magic. But there's still an interesting area about how semantic we can get with looking at all this stuff. So how do you do all this for yourself? Well, one thing I'd really recommend, on my site there's just a little tool called OPML Maker. And all you do is put, let's say, 20 or 30 keywords in there, and that spits out a file that gives you an OPML file. What's that? Well, it's just a file that you can import into Google Reader, or whatever RSS reader you like, and it builds RSS links to lots of search engines that work opposite to Google. So they search Twitter, and they search Delicious and Stumble Upon and all those places, and you instantly have a newspaper of people reading things that are to do with your writing or saying things or about your industry. If you then also use Firefox and add the PostRank plugin, you get some wonderful, which I'll show now. I'll show what we got here. This is the financial thing I mentioned, where just quite simply the company was looking for people giving bad advice, and so we just put in all the competitors' names. Here we go, bish bash bosh. Ran it through the OpenML Maker, and this then now sort of shows where people are talking about those companies. So it really can be that easy in terms of starting to think about where you should be having a voice and being helpful. This is what it looks. This is what the cable one looks like in Google Reader, and interestingly here, the post rank bit adds this little thing here, which says these are the discussions that people seem to be replying to. So this kind of gives you not just all the steel wire armoured news you'd ever want, but it also shows, well, these are discussions that are really picking up and taking off, and maybe you should be part of. So there we go. That's sort of instant engagement engine stuff, and it really comes down to this: if you kind of believe that people really, where do you go to find your information? Yeah, you go to Google, but you also ask people, and you're really thankful for the reviews and the comments and the things that people say, because that sort of feeds your knowledge. And so that's it. That's basically the things that I'm doing, that you're doing, and the ways that we've tried to sort of slim down, make the work easier. This was fun. I asked this just before I went to the conference, and it's probably the first genuine web social media joke, which David Houston at Channel 4 but is a genius. And there you go. That's my talk. If you want to get me on Twitter, I'm everything a Billy, because I run out of space. But never mind. Yeah, so thank you very much for listening, and if you want to talk about doing some social media work, some social media research, or getting your team up to speed with social media, give us a call, and all that stuff. Thank you. Bye bye.